Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning, it's rained overnight, so it's a little bit slippery underfoot. So we're staying with the Summer Wells case this morning, and I've got some questions. I've got lots of questions for Jodisue Brown. Yesterday I ranted, I was angry, I was disturbed by the allegations that Jodisue made. And it seemed to me that she was lashing out because her ex, Andy Bernard, had the audacity to appear live on a YouTube channel, on CSI's YouTube channel. She was angry and she was going to implicate Andy in something vile and disgusting. Meanwhile, making herself seem vile and disgusting. If it's a lie, it's disturbing that she'd make up a lie that children were being essayed, in the plural, children being essayed after being sedated with drugs supplied by Andy Bernard. Now, if it's true, if this story, amongst the many others that she's told, all of those were lies and this one's true, it's equally disturbing that she knew this was going on and she didn't do anything to try to help these children who were sedated and being essayed. Now, if she's been live since she made this admittance, and I'm going to admit, I did try to watch one video and I fell asleep. Honestly, I fell asleep. So I don't know if she's denied this, if she's changed her story. I've heard rumblings from other YouTube creators that she's changing this story now a little bit. But I don't know. I haven't heard that with my own ears. So I'm going to take the confession that she made. I'm going to take it as it stands, as she said it. And instead of ranting and being angry, I'm calm now. We're going to go through slowly and methodically what this story actually means. In doing so, I've got lots of questions. So Jodisue, here's a challenge for you. Would you like to make a video short to the point so that everybody can hear it without having to go through a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hour live to try to find the little pieces of information that are important? Come on camera, do a live, short to the point, and answer these questions. There's a challenge. Right, so let's remind ourselves what Jodisue said that implicates Andy, that implicates Candace for buying these drugs, and implicates, unknown persons in the essay of these sedated girls. Let's listen to the claims she made. And there's more to this, but it's concerning one of the Wells brothers, and I'm not even going to go there. Not going to go there because I'll just get angry again, so listen.
Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling them over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. Not standing in front of him anymore. Yeah. And I found about a few days before all the shit went down. I'm not kidding, dude. And I got the fucking receipts on it. And I'm sure law enforcement does as well. He had known Summer was also being abused, and he hid it from everybody, including me. And he was very much selling drugs to the children at 110.
So, Andy Bernard supplying drugs. Girls who were being sedated so that they could be touched. All right, so which girls? Do you know which girls? Do you know who the offenders are? Right, so these girls are being sedated so they can be touched, but touched by who? One person? Multiple people? Males, females, a combination thereof? You know, let's remind ourselves of what the TBI said on the 15th of June. Parents have been interviewed, Summer's brothers have been interviewed, neighbours' properties have been searched, local RSOs have been interviewed. But yet you've been holding this story in this whole time. You've said that law enforcement should know about it. Well, how do you know that they know about it? How should they know about it? If they've done all of this searching, they've done all of this investigation, and yet no one's been arrested, right? You know, they've issued search warrants, they've taken the Wells phones, they've taken the tech. It makes me believe that this investigation hasn't been very thorough, because you've been there all of this time holding this information in, and there's been no arrests. Indeed, on the 15th of June, Leslie Earhart from the TBI said this.
We've said from the beginning, this case is outside the norm. There are few clues as to what happened to Summer, despite investigators doing everything within their power to find answers. All possibilities are still being explored. Many of you have asked for details about what's been done over the last year. I can tell you agents and detectives have spent thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. This includes the social media accounts of those associated with Summer. 3 large ground searches have taken place in the last year with the assistance of more than 100 local, state, and federal agencies. Those searches do not account for the numerous targeted searches done by agents and detectives as they were following up on potential leads. From TBI alone, more than 100 agents, intelligence analysts, and support staff from across the state have been involved in this case. TBI agents working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to law enforcement.
Detective John Pruitt, back in April, said this.
People are probably tired of hearing this. All possibilities are on the table. We're not completely eliminating the abduction idea. There's nothing to lead us to believe that we need to focus on that alone. We have gone through reams and reams of data. We've collected statements. We've chased down every credible lead that has been given to us. And we are still not much further along than when we started.
Law enforcement are no further forward than they were at the beginning. So this information that you think law enforcement should know, well, when did they learn it? Who did they learn it from? If they've done all these investigations, have the investigations been that poor that they've missed it all? They've missed the information that you know that could crack this case wide open. So it seems to me that law enforcement don't know. Or at least they didn't know 2 weeks ago, 15th June. So what have you told them? What have you told law enforcement? Have you told law enforcement this story? Or no? Are you just assuming that they know? Have they come on camera, you know, TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's representatives from those services have come online and lied to the public? Well, could do. To protect the integrity of the investigation. They could do. So is that what's happened? Are law enforcement working on, you know, building up a case to arrest Andy Bernard, to arrest the people the offenders, who were the ones who touched these sedated girls? Is that what you're saying? Is the information that you've supplied them going to lead to those arrests once they've built up a case? Or have you not told them? You've just assumed that they know. What if they don't know? What if you're holding the key? Now let's remind ourselves, right, that Jodisue, according to this version of events, knew days before Summer disappeared, or this occurred, presumably she means Summer's disappearance. Andy Bernard was supplying drugs to the Welsh children. Now, she did go on to say that she didn't know the full story until after Summer disappeared. But how long after Summer disappeared did you find this out? Because you seemed happy as Larry with Andy when you were making Facebook videos in your vehicle. Andy was there with you. You know, was Andy forcing you to make these videos? You know, you say that you come from a domestic violence relationship, and I've not got any reason to disbelieve that. But it seems that you only started being upset with Andy when he left you for someone else, someone that you call coleslaw, you know, the side dish.
Like I've told y'all long before, that earring was dropped on purpose. That's why they shook the floorboard and hit him in a meltdown. And I guarantee, honestly, when Summer disappeared, that's the reason he got so fucking crazy. And the more I think about it the past few days, it's probably because when the Fed showed up, especially at work, he'd been lying to me, because that day she disappeared, he was supposed to be running late, right? Working over. Guarantee he wasn't. So he knew, tick, 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 time was coming. Cops knew he wasn't, whatever. And he was next door, and truth coming. I mean, all kinds of things precipitated his shit, but I promise you for months. And what's weird is, like, he was abusing me that psychotically during the day, but then he was even acting weird for me. Like, at night, for those last few nights, it was, will you hold me? In a tone I'd never really heard before. I want me to hold him after fucking doing me that way every day. In a weird, like, baby tone. Like, man, this ain't done. If his fucking system thinks this is done, you let me know. I've been telling you. I've been fucking telling you.
It was then that you turned on Andy. Well, understandably, if he left you for another woman, you're not going to be happy, are you? You know, you were together 26 years. If your relationship was really that violent, wouldn't you be pleased that he left? But then Andy's parents made you leave, didn't they? So you were angry at them as well. And you came online and you said that Andy actually wasn't on camera at work all day, as you'd previously told the world. So if Andy wasn't at work all day, Fred Hill says he saw Andy, definitely 100%, on Ben Hill Road. Told Ziggy this.
The seat like Indians was in there. Because I had been 165 and 67 days. I had a couple cars down there along the driveway. Well, I was parked in the road that same day because I hauled 67 miles that day. And Andy come in about between 3 and 3:30, somewhere around there. And I had to pull out the road, let him by. But see, that truck, I had to pull out the road up here when I loaded one, when that truck went in. And then it come back out, and it said up there, that where Lockwood is in the road. Instead of coming on down here and just, I pulled over there and stuff, and he just kept sitting. So I backed up and went down here and turned at this steep curve and went on down to 167 to load that other vehicle. And that truck didn't come out for a long time. I didn't thinking about it at that time, you see. But Andy, he come in that little silver car.
Did you make up this story, you and Fred together? Did you make up this story to implicate Andy? To make the YouTubians, I hate that, to make the YouTube true crime community believe that Andy was involved? You know, to get web sleuths to start putting things together and say, look, you know, Jodisue said he wasn't on camera all day, even though, you know, she said he was, but then he wasn't. And look, Fred Hill saw him just at around the time that, coincidentally, Summer was getting home. Interesting. Is Fred Hill telling the truth? Or is Fred Hill in your pocket, your right-hand man, Andy's cousin, you know, turned against him to work with his vindictive ex? I don't know. I don't know, you guys. This case gets stranger and stranger. Who knows that didn't happen? Fred Hill also said that Jodisue and Andy sat down the bottom there on Ben Hill Road for 3 days after Summer disappeared.
The third day after, like I was talking about, they stood down there for 3 days. Well, on the fourth day, all of a sudden, when he don't leave from just the road, he leaves the whole area.
Andy left. Don't exactly know where he said he went.
He goes in rocks one places. He leaves the whole area. He goes in rocks one places. He leaves the whole area. He goes in rocks one places. He leaves the whole area. He goes in rocks one places. And stays there for, what was it? When we finally seen McCoomers that night at the gas station. And he'd been gone for like 30-some days at that time.
Right after Summer, what was
Yeah, fourth day.
Wow.
I asked my members, I asked YouTube what they thought he said when he said this.
He leaves the whole area. He goes in rocks one places.
I think the majority of people said he said Knoxville, but Andy left. Now this was before he left Jodisue, and in the time he was said to be gone, Jodisue did appear on camera with him. So had she been going to meet him, or is Fred Hill lying about the whole Andy left? Because again, if you put it all together, you know, that Andy was on Ben Hill Road, he wasn't really on camera at work, then Summer disappeared, then they were sitting there, down the bottom there, listening and observing, and then Andy up sticks and left for a while. Team that with Andy telling his daughter, allegedly according to Jodisue, that he'd seen Summer's dead body. And there was a claim that Summer died on Saturday. So she went missing on the Tuesday. So are we talking about Saturday the 19th? Or is that just another lie? When you were there in your vehicle, Jodisue, you were there making videos every day. The night Summer disappeared, you filmed the helicopter going over. You talked on the 16th. And you said this on the 17th. And this is directly from your Facebook, here with the timestamp.
Summer's still not home. Y'all keep your eyes and ears open. Please keep going to the websites and sharing her picture and her information. Know that half of what you're hearing and seeing, especially these dumbass comments and conspiracies, because I looked for all of 3 seconds today online, and I mean that. It was like a quick bloop with the news conference they were doing. I was like, oh, hell no. News conference had more accurate info that was all fun and dandy, but people in the comments section are just, it's already this person's shit and that person's shit, and well, so-and-so's sisters disappeared, and that, shit started last night with search parties here, and probably us privately all talk between each other, or one of the searchers who'd heard us all talk, I don't know who the fuck heard that from where, honestly, but I was told that it got out last night at Mount Carmel. Either way, I'll tell you, the fucking two things ain't connected, and they're like 2.5 decades apart. The whole, everybody's trying to make it like it's a fucking, look, I ain't the police, I'm not the feds, and there's more agencies here than you can imagine, but, I'll tell you just from my personal opinion, parents are not involved. If you were there, you'd understand. Either way, the comments in 3 seconds on that fucking stream pissed me off so bad that I'm on fire. But I'm going to temper my tongue, and I'm not going to say much. It's pointless anyway. People are going to believe what they want to believe. Summer is loved, cared for. Neighborhood loves her, cares for her. Her parents and brothers love her. We all want her home. Feels a little empty without hearing her little giggles today. And, and her playing at the top of her hill from my hill. I hear her every day. And usually see her at least once. And, it's a little empty. And, I can't imagine what her mom and them were going through. I can see it written on her face and talk to her. I mean, this is hell for any parent, and I can't imagine. And, this is a fucking nightmare to us, and, so I can only imagine them. But, this isn't right. And for one of our own to be gone from the creek, and on that road especially, tells you something about what the hell's happening in there and what's changing. Definitely had some of the stuff that's not been going on there been going on, like all the fucking properties for sale and all the state shit and all the fucking work crews in there from all over the goddamn country been in there. This would have never happened. Somebody took the opportunity with all the traffic coming in and out. That would be my guess now. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just saying my guess would be that somebody has taken the opportunity, if that's what's happened. And that those things, had they not been happening, she might be where she's supposed to be right now. So, not real happy. This is what you get when you start opening these fucking areas up. And you have people running all across them. Any other day of the week, we could stand there and tell you exactly every detail about the entire day. Not in a million years would I have thought something like this would happen. In that road especially. And if you know Beach Creek and you know my road, you know why I'm saying that. These people online talking about where's this and where's parents where watching and blah blah. Bitch, please. Like, y'all live in the middle of the fucking suburbs and everything else. Your kids play out in the fucking yard. In like a half an acre, quarter acre. Your asses are inside the fucking house watching football or off grilling or jerking off or doing whatever. We have fucking, like, acres and acres and acres of isolated land. Our kids don't touch the fucking roads. We don't play that bullshit. And people online, where are the parents who's watching that? That's how quick it can happen to anybody. I guess even to us. In the middle of fucking nowhere. Where you just don't snatch a fucking kid, or where a kid just goes missing. It's not normal. So, and like I said, I'm not saying this will happen, because I don't know, but we've not found her yet, so, you gotta start thinking broad picture. But, anyway, it can happen to anybody. If it happened there on that fucking road, it can happen to anybody. If that's what happened, you see what I'm saying? But, those comments are just eating me up. It's like, where is this? Where is that? La la la. You motherfuckers can grill out and act normal and fucking GQ and fucking Bailey Ranch bullshit, and your kids are whatever. Give me a fucking break, dude. Y'all have no idea what the fuck. It's pretty stupid to say some dumb shit, really. But anyway, We don't know what's going on yet. No clue. She's still missing, so I'll just share. I'm going to maybe take the comb. That's happening a little bit. There's a little bit less noise right now, and I'm gonna go home, maybe get a few minutes of sleep. We'll see how that works out for me, but or end up in the hospital, and one or the other's gonna happen. But anyway, y'all just share, keep sharing a picture, keep sharing information.
So on June 17th, you sat there, Jodisue, you sat there and said how loved Summer was, how cherished she was, how the parents would not have done this. Andy was out of the vehicle and then came back in the vehicle. I presume it was Andy who went to the driver's seat there. You were being, forced to tell this story, were you? As a battered woman, it's possible you were forced to tell this story. But why? Why would Andy want you to do that if he was responsible for supplying drugs that were sedating the children? Even if that sedation and subsequent touching was nothing to do with Summer's disappearance. Like, this was happening, Jodisue knew it was happening. Jodisue was too scared to say anything. Jodisue was told to say something different. Why would Andy bring attention to himself? It seems a bit weird. But then again, many offenders do insert themselves into the case. They get very close to the case. They help out with the case to stay close, to find out what the police know. So, could be that. Could be that. Was that what you did, Jodisue? Is that what you did? But then you continued talking. So ultimately, a year later, we're where we are today. With you telling this version of events, that version of events. Telling us from ground zero about the scream that you never mentioned to Andy in text when you were texting him on June 15th. You never mentioned that. The only noise you mentioned was at 2:14 p.m. So, 2.5 hours before the scream. So you mentioned that noise, but you didn't mention the scream. So you weren't implicating Andy at that time. You were sitting in your vehicle saying how loved Summer was. You weren't implicating the parents. Even though you sat there and talked to camera about all this, knowing full well that girls at the Wells property were being supplied sedative drugs by your then partner Andy Bernard to Candice, and you never said a word. I've got a problem with that. I've got a huge problem with that. If that's true, well, it could be that this was happening to Summer and other girls, but it's just a complete coincidence that Summer disappeared. Tilly, come here. Tilly. Cass. Good girl. Cass. Not a great day to go cycling, I've got to say. Slippery enough underfoot, and then I'm on a bike. Which way should we go? Go back this way. We'll get past this. Oh, I'm falling. Be another blooper for my channel members. So it could be a complete coincidence that Summer got gone. You know, someone else took her. A bear took her. She just wandered, got lost, had an accident and died. And it's a coincidence. But that still leaves the other girls. So again, who are these girls? Who are the offenders? Are these girls now safe? Do these girls' families know that this sedation was going on? Have they pressed charges? What were these drugs? What were the drugs? So sedatives. So what was it like? What are they? these sedative drugs? Are you just going to say, oh, it was a little bit of weed? But even if that's the case, you're still having children being sedated by weed. Marijuana's not a good sedation drug though, is it? Because people can have a whole range of reactions. You know, some people become like chatty and want to eat a lot. So, I don't know. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. So are these drugs like, opiates, oxycodone? What else might there be? There's loads of sedative drugs, isn't there? Someone in the know can easily get their hands on. Yeah. The more I think about these questions, Jodisue, the worse it gets. However, what if all of this is lies and Jodisue made it all up? What does that make you sound like, Jodisue? It makes you sound evil and vindictive without any morals whatsoever, that you'd make up such a story about someone just because he appeared on a YouTube channel. You make these claims about the Wells children, knowing full well that it's a lie, just to get back at your ex. That is one sick puppy. One sick puppy. I'm going to stop there before I get angry again and before I start ranting again. I just wanted to lay this out slowly and calmly and show people some clips and ask Jodisue some questions. So Jodisue, take my challenge. Make a video answering those questions. So that's all I've got for you today. I've been Michelle, hope you're well. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Cassie Springer. I miss Tillington. Oh, look at those rain clouds. Oh, look at that. Get home before it rains again, shall we? Bye, guys.